Hello gamers! Today a YouTube video for you on a tank, and I know you're looking at it and you're like, Daki, this tank is terrible, but I promise you this tank is actually underrated. But before we get into the video, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're a fan of competitive games, which brings me to my next point. Let's check out the sponsor of today's video, Mech Arena. Mech Arena is a team-based 5v5 tactical shooter. It's free to play, featuring a wide range of mechs, with unique abilities combined with a vast amount of weapons to unlock and upgrade. There are endless combinations possible, so you can build a mech that fits your exact playstyle. The game provides multiple game modes such as control point capture, both 5v5 and 2v2 deathmatches, tournaments, and plenty more, with the ability to play either solo or with your friends against other teams. Mech Arena is available on both iOS and Android devices. However, this month they have also launched on PC for a full cross-platform experience, so you can take advantage of big screens and custom controls. Furthermore, Neymar Jr. is now available in-game as one of the most powerful pilots. Not only does he boost the damage of missile and assault weapons, he's the only pilot in-game that provides your mech with a special perk, allowing for longer and more frequent mech sprints. The best part is, you can get him for free in-game by just playing on any 7 different days between October 6th and December 18th. Use my link in the description below to get a free starter pack worth $30, including a skin, 1 amateur crate, and 5,000 credits. Lastly, if you do decide to pick up the game, don't forget to add me as a friend so we can play some matches together at some point. So we get into our first battle here with the M5Y, and we get Karelia Defense. And Karelia Defense is one of those maps that can result good games, but it could also be pretty awful. I think we're going to be rocking the HP setup here, and we're going to be going north. And the thing about this tank is, I actually recently marked it, and I kind of liked it. It's weird because the best gun on this is the small gun, which has 360 alpha, which is kind of low for a tier 10. And the tank outside of Hold On is, of course, not much to write home about, let's put it that way. But in Hold On, if you lift your gun when you're there aiming at your cupola, it does seem to perform quite reasonably well, in my opinion. I think I marked it with about 4.6k DPG. So I was like, maybe I make a YouTube video on it, because like I feel like we were all very harsh on this tank when it got released. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not sure. It doesn't feel that bad, per se. And you know, maybe this is this kind of a tank. It's a bit unique in a way, and we all were like, it's awful, etc, etc. But I didn't think that it was that bad per se, honestly. Like, I kind of enjoyed myself in a lot of battles. Of course, if you go too aggressive with it, nobody is scared of an M5Y. If I see an M5Y, I'm not scared of it. I don't think you are either. So you cannot go too aggressive. You're like playing Hold On, but you're not overplaying it to trade. Oh, there's a charge for 2 there already, which is shooting me unspotted. Interesting. He's still able to shoot me unspotted. Okay. We can snipe at the cupola here of the... I'm trying to hit the charge for 2 for this. So, in Hold On, it does seem like this tank works for me. There he is. We did hit him blind once, the phase 1 fired. It is indeed a very high heat intensive gun ammo. It's a good cupola. I shot 293, of course, but there's a big shell coming in from the back line. Maybe we can hit this cupola again. 319 onto the phase 1. He's driving forward. He's gonna shoot at the Conqueror. No, he does not. And we pick him up, and like, DPM wise, it's very good actually, or feels very good. So yeah, low alpha, of course, but like I said, in Hold On, it does seem to perform pretty well. So the phase 1 died. Now we get to push the charge for tour 406. He does not give us one back. He actually switched to EPCR, which is pretty weird to me, but it's okay. So we clean up this side. We have 1.4. My team is winning the other side though, which is a bit too fast per se, because I need to get a decent amount more shots here to have a good game, you know. So the SRV is running away. Aim for his track there, because we can always spend the SRV when he's running through, like that. There's a Waffentrigger in there too. There's a PTA in the middle. Gotta be careful from the Waffentrigger, but maybe we can get some shots on the PTA here, which we can. So we give him one, he gives us one too. phase 1's not peeking. The 1-1B is not peeking, sorry. I thought I was gonna pan. We got a shot on him that doesn't pan. Second one, however, we won't get a second one because we can't see him. We're now looking for the Waffentrager to get spotted again. Yes, CRV though. Could reload heat for this. The Waffentrager gets spotted out. We give him one. We have a very quick reload which allows us to continuously punish him. We punish him again. And you can see the gun feels pretty solid IMO. It's like, I don't know, like in general. Of course, you know, when you peek like that, you're gonna get punished, but that's more of a me issue than it is a tank issue. Again, this is more of a me issue than it is a tank issue. I need the SRV to turn around though, so I can get still some more out of this. He does turn around. I was not ready for this. The standard B is hiding. So the first game here is not the greatest of all because of the speed that the battle went through. Like, it was an incredibly fast battle. I got 3.7 here because I have one blind against the Charfutur IMO. But yeah, again, in hold on, this tank feels solid. I have 2.7k damage. Solid is the word of the day, by the way. And overall, like, of course, it's not an AMX, right? But not everything can be an AMX. It's not a chieftain either, because thank God not everything can be a chieftain. But it does feel like this tank is balanced, per se. I mean, you could technically up the alpha if you really wanted to. Like, you could give it slightly more alpha, bring it to 400, but then you bring it in line with Skunk alpha. This is a little bit more unique. Doesn't have to be unique, per se, but still, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, because like I kind of like tend to like heavies more than I like mediums because of the fact I get a turret and some armor to work with and HP as well. But for me, this tank felt like if I was playing it properly, as in I wasn't really taking too aggressive traits for no reason, because every time I went really aggressive with it, I died. It was more of a not second line. It's like front line, but not front. Like, I'm playing in a hold down, but I am not going through an aggressive hold down to try and punish the opponents at every given point. I always try to, well, not always, but every time I push too forward, I died. Because, again, this tank doesn't scare anybody. It's not like facing an AMX. When you peek this, it gives you 360. It doesn't feel like you're getting punished quite hard, and it doesn't scare them away from making peeks against you. So every time I played it as not as aggressive, but slightly more forward, like slightly forward, but not too forward, and played it that way, it seemed to work out quite well. I mean, it does need time though for this gun to do damage. It needs time. You need a longer engagement. But you got Westfields from the good side. They do have a lot of TDs, 3 lines, not too much HP for frontal fight here. And I'm not gonna peek up any MXs. I think we all realize that nowadays peeking that position is a bit of a risk, per se. I'm trying to figure out where the 215B is. I can punish the STB here. Let's say that's unlucky. Let's say that's unlucky. And my AMX is of course getting punished because they can have somebody at the building there. That's why I think nowadays you have to be careful with making these kind of peaks on the top side, because a lot of people play at the buildings here. Try and counteract this. I'm just checking what the Mr. AMX is doing. I could potentially think about driving through to A3. However, they still have a lot of TDs. Gorilla gets spotted. We can give this one 427. Not a bad roll, per se. Not a 360 alpha gun. AMX is speaking now. And again, every time people are aiming for your cupola, you should try and lift your gun so they don't have a good shot anymore. That is an awful shot by me. He misses though, which gives me a chance to go forward and retaliate. I have to be careful because of course AMX is 560 alpha. I have 360. You know, 560 against 360. I think we all know how this trade works out at the end of the day. The AMX is speaking though. CB speaking. And again, I think a very important concept is to raise your gun. The FV dies. I don't even know who spotted him, but he just died. Pen the STB. Starting to look like a little bit of a fast game again. Again, gotta raise my cupola every time I see him look at it. The Guerrilla is there. I give him a one as well. The MX bounces it. So we do some good trading there. No, they already shot at me. He misses, luckily enough, and it seems like they're AMX. Took a moment there to see where he was getting penned. We get another good shot on him. The FV215B is there, the Guerrilla's there. Punish the Guerrilla again, and you can see like this gun feels pretty good overall. The good thing is that you don't need to be afraid of firing with this gun for the simple fact that you do have that, how do I say it, I aimed for that. You have the forgiving reloads that this tank offers. It offers you, like, you can shoot. It is again an expensive tank to play IMO because of this fact as well. Because you can do so many shots, and I think I just made a mistake. We'll see about it though. I'm pretty sure I might be dead here. We'll see though. I should try and stay safe from the STB. The Badger is still alive. I'm gonna try to drive towards the left here to survive. I guess the Badger tries to overpeak. That seems like the Badger already is not focused on me right now either. So I am gonna survive for a second longer. The Guerrilla died. V4 is yet still alive though, which he dies to the RD. I think the Badger already might be on reload as well. So I have 4.1. Bit of a risky play there, and the RD gun's gonna kill me. He still had a shot. I have 4.1 again, not a 5k game per se, but again, not an awful game. I felt like that when I was playing this tank, I was getting a lot of consistent games. Like I was getting a lot like 4 to 6Ks. I wasn't really blowing off in this because it has the alpha lack of it. Like I wasn't really blowing off like frequent 8Ks or 7Ks or 9Ks, but between the range of like 3.5 to like 5, I felt I was pretty consistent in getting those at least. And even in this battle, I could have done more if I didn't like just drive into the STB for whatever reason there. But again, I mean, 4.1, 2k assist, it is a good game nonetheless. So I'm hovering about around 3.8 now in this. And it's very easy at this point to go up to like 4.5. Between the range of 4.5 to 5k, it's only like one 6k game, and bam, we're at 4.5, which is a good result for this tank because my target on this was like 4.5 because I really thought it was awful. But I'm like, I'm not trying to convince you to get this tank, but I'm saying that if you have like nothing really left, if you already have like SCONK, VC, AMX, then this could be something like niche to play. It's kind of like Renegade gameplay combined with Cran gameplay, but with the Cran also you do the lifting the gun, and it does make the underside weaker when you lift the gun. But you got to remember that when somebody's aiming, they're usually aiming at your cupola. So when you swing your gun up, you can mess up their aim, and they can actually miss your cupola because of that. That's why you always try and raise your gun, because when they're aiming, you see them aim, you lift up. Shot goes past the cupola, they miss. Trading advantage for you. But yeah, just I don't know, I felt like because I played it on the stream, maybe I should make a YouTube video about it and talk about how this tank may not be as bad as we all imagined, because it really isn't. And I don't know if that's like a good thing to admit. The thing is, I don't believe that I'm not a believer in the fact that every tank in World of Tanks should be like up there. So you need like some worse performing ones, mid performing ones, and well performing ones, and you want them to be like within a close span of each other. That's why I'm not sure if I would even like buff anything on this outside of maybe like alpha slightly, just to make it more competitive against the other hold on heavies that exist. And I mean, like I said, the hull is awful on this. Every time you get shot to the hull, you lose your loader, you lose any whatever crew member you have, he dies, and you lose your ammo rack. So that is one of the things you have to remember when you play this, that you're gonna have very frequent ammo rack damage that comes forward. Every time you get shot on the hull, it is ammo rack, without question almost. Kind of like SCONK in a way in that regard as well. So that's something to watch out for. And but it's also, I'm not going city here on Lakeville when you look at this lineup. I mean, it's an encounter, but there's no real point for me because the only trades I can make are on hull, and it just doesn't work like that. The tank just doesn't work for it at all. I need to find the angle on the I7. It is an awful shot, so I decided not to take it. I'm gonna see if I can maybe check up if there's something here that I could potentially shoot at. Oh boys, that's a mouse. That is a moose. That is a big, fat, juicy mouse. Even the i7 can't really peek this with his gun depression. I mean, I don't even think he can see my cupola. So he fired, which means we can peek the moose again. Nice shot from the mouse though. It doesn't manage to snipe my cupola. I think it was my cupola. The i7's now trying as well. He missed. There's an opportunity to peek the moose again. We do get the trade win against the moose. He's now pushing forward again. I'm gonna get a shot on the plate, the cupola on there. There's another good shot against the mouse. I think I still reload before him, even now. It's another good shot against him, and I did say this is a very heat-intensive gun, and I will stand by that, just because of the fact you want to get all the pens that you can, because again of the good shot by the S7, because of the alpha, right? I am trading awful now. I am actually trading very awful. This is 100% my fault, by the way. I am literally allowing myself to get outplayed for no reason whatsoever other than I am bad. It's a bit of a shame because I did throw a tremendous amount of HP there. IMO. The mouse might try to push us though. Or the i7 might try to push us. Either way, throwing the HP here is not good. I can tell you that much. One more good shot against the mouse. And you can see we're just chipping away, and even like now we really misplayed. No matter where you look at it, we misplayed. It was not good. And I'm afraid the i7 is going to peek us, or the T68 is going to push us. So we get our 4K there. We are capping the base. However, I feel like the 268 V4 will go for this. And some point in the near future, or the i7 will just go for it. Well, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, this was my mistake to make. If I had more HP there, this wouldn't have been an issue, to be honest. I was so greedy for shooting the mouse that I kind of neglected the danger of the i7 and the V4 peeking me and shooting me. And we can see the result of this. I mean, it's still like, you know, I did fine. Nonetheless, I did 4.5K. I averaged about, what was it, like 3. We'll see in the session stat. And I honestly still feel like, you know, there I misplayed, but it would have been the same thing in an S-Skunk there. If I peek that way in an S-Skunk, I also get shot through the side of the turret by the V4. I also just get penned by the i7. But again, in hold on, this tank can hold its own. And I believe that I was too harsh on this when I said it's like completely awful. It's definitely not a Rhino level of tank, but at the same time, it's also not an S-Skunk level of tank. It feels like this spot where a decent amount of tanks are, where it's like, it's playable, it's not the top meta tank, but you can definitely have good games in it. Like, it's not like you should never get this tank because it's as bad as the Rhino. However, what I will say though, and which is a very big issue for this line, is that the tier 7 is good from what I remember. The tier 8 is really good IMO. It's like a, what do I compare it to? It's like a T32 with a, kind of like a T32 esque tank that is actually very solid and hold down. Small cupola, you can definitely play it, performs well, but the tier 9 is god awful. That is the biggest issue for me on this line, and I think it should be as well for the people that are going through it, is that the tier 9 forms such a big obstacle that if you have to play and grind through it, it is an awful experience. The tank is disgusting. It's actually disgusting. With its double cupola, you can't do anything with it. You really cannot do anything with it. Anyways, we got 4.5k here, second on damage. We get outperformed by the MX30B, actually. Congratulations, you're better than me. Over the 3 games in this, we managed to average about 4.1, which is not exactly what I wanted. But then again, the first game was really fast. There was not much else to do. The second game on Best Field was also kind of fast. There wasn't much to do. And the last game, I could have done more here on the i7 and 268 if I didn't throw away my HP. So you could have averaged around 4.5k, which I think is like 4.5 to 4.8 is the max possible for on this tank for top echelon of players. So I'm not too unhappy with it. I could recover this to 4.5 with like 1 or 2 good games. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video on this tank that maybe not a lot of people know or have played or have seen be played, and I gave you some tips and tricks and insight of what to do. Anyways, I will see you guys all on the very next one. I hope you have a wonderful day, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Peace, boys. Ciao.